One last thing to do today, Pickle, and that is to roll out the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football Rankings. Of course, Dave Campbell's Texas Football has put out the state's most respected Texas High School Football Rankings for decades and has been the official rankings provider of the Associated Press since 2019. These are the official Texas High School Football Rankings of record. The ones that are going to show up in your newspaper, the ones that people are going to use on all the graphics and stuff like that. This is where you find it. You can find it at texasfootball.com/rankings. Let's start in Class 6A. A little bit of movement here. A couple of changes around there, especially on the right side. Top 12 did not get touched. Duncanville, Galena Park, North Shore, DeSoto, Westlake, and Vandergrift still your top 5. But on the right side, we got a little bit of a makeover. Number 13, McKinney crashes out with their loss to Allen. They are out of the rankings, as is number 22, Dripping Springs. They drop out with their loss to Austin Westlake. And as a result, everybody nudges up a couple of spots. Byron Nelson up to 13, Dickinson up to 15, Pflugerville Weiss up to 17, Rockwall up to 19, Prosper and Coppell at 20 and 21 respectively. New to the rankings, I should say returning to the rankings. Number 24, Fort Bend Ridge Point. Big winners over Fort Bend Clements to move to 6 and 2. And number 25, the Woodlands back into the rankings after drilling the Woodlands College Park. They are now 6 and 2 on the year. To 5A we go. 5A Division 1, nothing to see here, folks. Everyone's a winner. Everyone won pretty convincingly, with the exception of Forney, who got a real scare from Lancaster, 21-20 in overtime, but they get the win. They remain 6 and 1 on the year. Top 5 remains unchanged in 5A Division 1. Aledo, Longview, Mansfield, Timberview, Port Arthur Memorial, and Fulshear. 5A Division 2 did have a big shakeup. Specifically, the number 2 team in the state, Frisco Emerson, drops out of the rankings. They drop out of the rankings with their loss to Argyle, and as a result, everybody moves up a spot. Montgomery Lake Creek, now your number 2 team in the state. Midlothian Heritage got a scare from Ennis in overtime, but got the win. They're up to number 3. Texas High up to number 4, and Port Neches Groves up to number 5. Argyle, their big win over Frisco Emerson, gives them a nudge up to number 9, and back into the rankings, the Colleyville Heritage Panthers, number 10, after beating Fort Worth Arlington Heights. They are now 6 and 1 on the year and ranked number 10. To 4A we go, and 4A got a makeover. 4A Division 1, Tyler Chapel Hill loses to Lindale. The number 1 team goes down. We bumped them from 1 to 10 with the loss to an unranked Lindale squad. Still keep them in the rankings, but as a result, everyone just moves up. Your new number 1 team in 4A Division 1, the Bernie Greyhounds. They're at 6 and 1, winners over San Antonio Memorial. Salina up to number 2. Anna back up to number 3. China Spring and Kilgore round out the top 5. Kilgore and Chapel Hill here in a couple weeks suddenly got very, very interesting. And by the way, how about Stephenville and China Spring this week? Big, big, big game. 4A Division 2. Much less interesting. The number 10 team in the state, the Center Rough Riders, drop out because they lost to Van, and guess who took their spot? The Van Vandals. They're at number 10. They're now ranked there at 7 and 1 with a big win over Center. Top 5 remains unchanged. Carthage, Silsbee, Pleasant Grove, Cuero, and Wimberley. Keep an eye on Silsbee and Hampshire Finette this week. Now, to 3A we go. 3A Division 1, where there's a little bit of movement here. Winsboro gets a big win over Pottsboro. That nudges them up a spot there to number. Winsboro moves up to number 4. Hitchcock's loss to Columbus. It was tough to know what to do with that because we do think Columbus is pretty good, but it was pretty resounding, and it was at home. We dropped them from number 4 to number 9. As a result, Winsboro, Paradise, Edna, Brock, and Bushland all nudge up a couple of spots. And new to the rankings, tell your friends about the state-ranked Clyde Bulldogs. Number 10, winners over Jim Ned. They move to 7 and 0 on the year, and now state-ranked. The Clyde Bulldogs crack the Dave Campbell's Texas Football Rankings in 3A Division 1. Over in 3A Division 2, quite literally nothing to see here. Go back. Everyone was a winner. Top 5 remains unchanged. Gunner, Canadian, Tidehaven, Hooks, and Newton. Hooks was idle this week, but everyone was a winner or idle. Now to 2A, Pickle. Only one change in 2A Division 1. Stratford's win over Panhandle is wildly impressive. Moves them to 7 and 1 or 7 and 0 on the year. That is good enough for us to leapfrog them over Cooper for the number 4 spot. Cooper now at number 5. They've got a big game this week against Honeygrove. They beat Honeygrove. They may grab that number 4 spot back. But for now, Stratford and Cooper swap places. Stratford number 4, Cooper number 5. Your top 3 remains unchanged. Timpson, Refugio, and Toller. 2A Division 2, nothing to see here. Everyone was a winner or idle in the case of Mart. Top 5 remains unchanged. Albany, Mart, New Home, Chilton, and Collinsville, your top 5 in 2A Division 2. To six-man football we go. Nothing to see here in 1A Division 1. This was a big week of open dates for six-man football. A ton of bye weeks. Knox City, Abbott, Whiteface, Miami, and Rankin all on open dates, but everyone else was a winner. Your top 5 in 1A Division 1 remains the same. Gordon, Knox City, Abbott, Westbrook, and Jonesboro, your top 5. 1A Division 2, Rochelle loses to Richland Springs, and as a result, they drop out of the rankings at number 10 and into the rankings. Number 10, the Kroll Wildcats. Coach Mitchell Parsley's Wildcats are now 7-1 on the year. Big winners over Chillicothe. I believe their one loss in the year is to Knox City, which has aged particularly well, but they are the newest team in the 1A Division 2's top 10. Your top 5 remains unchanged. Benjamin, Oglesby, Jayton, Richland Springs, and Klondike. To the private school ranks we go. And once again, the private school 11-man ranks went crazy. Houston St. John's loses after beating Bel Air Episcopal. It's all very crazy. As a result, Austin Regions moves up to number 3. Argyle Liberty Christian now up to number 4 with their win over Midland Christian. Very impressive from Argyle Liberty Christian. And back into the rankings after a 1-week hiatus, Bel Air Episcopal, they get right with a win over Dallas St. Mark's to leapfrog back into the rankings. Top 2 at Houston St. Thomas and Dallas Christian. Both winners, both stay the same. And the private school 6-man ranks, Pasadena, we had a number 1 versus number 5. Pasadena First Baptist beat East Texas Homeschool. That drops East Texas Homeschool out of the rankings and back into the rankings. Houston Emory Weiner back into the rankings. They were idle this week, but at 5-1, good enough to grab that number 5 spot. So your top 5 in private school 6-man ranks, Pasadena First Baptist, Fort Worth Covenant Classical, Conroe Covenant, Bastrop Tribe Consolidated, and now Houston Emory Reiner. So there it is, your Week 9 Dave Campbell's Texas Football Associated Press Texas High School Football Rankings. You can find all the rankings at texasfootball.com/rankings.
Thanks so much for watching that video. If you would like more and to be notified when they come out, go ahead and click that subscribe button right down there. You can also watch Texas Football Today every day live at noon on texasfootball.com, Facebook, Twitch, and right here on YouTube. For more of the best coverage of Texas football in the Lone Star State, go to texasfootball.com/subscribe.